Okay, Chris Popper here in Bangor. I'm joined by UMaine head soccer coach Scott Atherley up in Orono. Coach, congratulations! Another two victories last week. The 1-0 win over UMass Lowell at home, and then on the road 3-1 at Bryant. Talk to us a little bit about those games, if you would, please.
Well, I think one of the things that we were looking at kind of holistically and going back to the previous Sunday at Vermont is that we were contending with 3 games in 8 days. So we were looking at that, from a long-term perspective about, the important things of being able to make sure that we manage the players' load, that we were able to be as equally impactful on the game on Sunday at Bryant as we were against Vermont, and that's not easy. And I think the compelling story for us is that we were able to manage the players in a fashion where we didn't compromise our intensity in the way we wanted to play, and we were able to impose our kind of identity on all 3 games. And fortunately, we were able to get 3 great results.
I guess that's a testament not only to the conditioning of the team and your training staff, but also the depth that you have, where you're able to shuttle players in and out.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I was thrilled, and we talked about that with the team this morning when we met to really discuss the 3 games and discuss Bryant, because it's the first time we've been together since the weekend. Is that was one of the points that was clear, and it came out is that the strength of our team really showed, and the strength of our depth, and the players came into the game not only just kind of maintained the standard, but if you look at our expected goals, the chance creations, and things like that, when they were on, we were the most dangerous, and you love to see that with your team.
Again, another game-winning goal by Jordan. I mean, you just have to almost think, all right, she scored, and we're going to win. I mean, that's kind of the way it seems to have gone this season, because I think she's now tied for second in the nation with 5 game-winning goals.
Yeah, she's just really opportunistic, and I think it's just reflective of her confidence. She's always been someone, her instincts are her greatest strengths as an athlete and player. And again, she's just finding herself in really good positioning. She's trusting her instincts. She's not thinking so much. And that's exactly, you want somebody to be in flow state, and she really is when she's on the field.
I know that we had talked about last week about her great kickoff of the Vermont keepers clear. And I know that America East was showing that as the highlight on Twitter. I mean, that was just again just such an opportunistic and then someone who converts. I mean, you almost think, oh my God, it's right there in front of me, and it's so easy to hit the ball over the net or something. And she just calmly placed it right in the back of the net.
Yeah, I think, to be an effective pressing team and a player who's effective on the press, you have to anticipate. And again, it's instinctive. And the other part of it is the finish. And then just being able to find the calm. And again, I think she's just so focused that, she's able to kind of negate any background noise or any potential distraction, and she stays focused to finish.
In the game against Lowell, talk a little bit about the team's patience. I mean, uh, I guess not worrisome, but if the score was 0-0 at the end of the first half, even though you had a 10-2 shot advantage, and yet you continued to press and were rewarded in the second half.
Yeah, I think one of the things that the graphics we showed our team today with all 3 games, comparing all 3 games, we outscored our opponent, all 3 opponents, 6-2 over the final 30 minutes of games. So 6-2. So really what that conveys is, 90 minutes is a long time. You only need 5 or 6 seconds. Patience is required. Conversely, 1-1 in the first 60 minutes between the 3 games. Vermont scored on us. They scored first in the first 60 minutes against us, and then we got a goal early in the Bryant game. So you have to be patient, and I think that's one of the things that I credit our team is they manage their emotions. They don't panic. They're not getting too anxious, and they're using their experience, because experience shows us that over that period of time you're going to get your chances, and we're going to convert our chances, and we did.
It's hard to believe that the season is, well, I mean, almost two-thirds over. I mean, really, you only have four regular
4 games left.
season, four games left, and I was kind of surprised when I looked at that. Um, we started doing this back in August, and here we are, the first full week of October, and the season's quickly coming to an end.
It is, and that's the college season. It's a 13-week accelerated sprint. And that's, again, it goes back to, you have to be so mindful of how you look at the totality of the season. And we always plan backwards from the end, kind of where we want to be, when we want to peak physically, all of those things. And you really have to be intentional about it, because it's on you so fast and it's over so quickly.
And I guess it shows the importance of staying fit and not having injuries. Because if you suffer a couple injuries, I mean that can affect, obviously 2 or 3 games at a minimum.
Well, I think there's two pieces to that. One, there's just some things that they're unavoidable and you can't control. The injury is going to happen, the collision injuries and things like that. But you really have to be able to control the ones that are avoidable. And I think those are the soft tissue things, the groin pulls, the hamstrings. And that's where the player management, the load management, where we rely heavily on our technology to kind of to monitor the players so that they're not overtrained. And then on game day, they have their legs.
Hey, talk a little bit about the technology that you're able to use to monitor that. I mean, are they wearing heart? I think we've talked about this, but are they
Yeah.
wearing heart? Just tell us what you're
Yeah,
able to
well, we've
use.
actually switched. We're going to Catapult, and Catapult really looks at external load. It looks at not only your distances, but your accelerations, your decelerations, your high speed running, and we're able to look at that very closely and carefully, and to a player, compared to their game loads and what they're doing in games. You have an idea about the stress that they're under, and how it accumulates over a season, over a week, over a cycle. So we're able to look at this very closely and manage them during the week. So for some, it's limiting their practice time and their repetitions. And for others, it's conditioning them a little bit more. It's rotating them out of exercises. So ultimately, we are continuing to progress their fitness, but there's a fine line. The acute to chronic has to be balanced, so you're not overtraining or undertraining. And this technology allows us to be absolutely precise, because it varies from player to player based on how much they play in games, how much they're training during the week. So we really have to be intentional during the practice week, so that on game day they are absolutely recovered and can go as at their. And again, that's what I'm thrilled about this the 3 games. You see our pressing intensity against Bryant. It's greater than it was when we played against Vermont, and that all has to do with load management.
That's amazing, how the technology plays a part and such a crucial role in the success. I also was kind of looking at the schedule, and I was just kind of amazed. You're 3 games against the Dogs. So you've got the Bryant Bulldogs. You're at the UMBC Terriers this Sunday, and then you host the Albany Great Danes.
How about
Um,
that?
which is bark in the park. And I'm not sure if you're aware, this is the only time that I can root against Great Danes. I have 2 Great Danes of my own. But when Albany comes here, I'm all UMaine. So, but I
That's
just thought
good.
that was, I thought that was kind of just a
A
quirk of the
coincidence.
schedule right there.
Yeah. I don't know that was in the matrix when the America East kind of put the schedule together, but how so be it.
Right. So, what do you know about UMBCA? I mean, obviously, how long of a trip is that? That's got to be a good 8, 10 hour trip down to
Well,
Baltimore.
we're
Or
we're
are you
we're
flying?
actually we're going to bus to Portland Friday
Okay.
night, and we stay over at the airport, at a hotel at the airport, and we leave early, like 8:30 flight on Saturday, and it's quick. It's a quick flight. We get in on Saturday morning. We go have something to eat. We'll go train at their facility, and then it's quick because the next day it's a noon. But we, again, it's the second trip that we fly, and you really have to, because otherwise you get in traffic. It turns into a 12-13 hour bus ride, and that's really tough on the players.
Oh, I would think, no doubt about it. I mean, it's kind of incredible. I don't think there's any, although we knock on wood, I mean, it's hard to imagine, but Hurricane Mickey, I don't think is scheduled to come up. That I think it's still going to be south of us on Sunday.
Yeah, I don't know. The only thing that I have looked at, and it's a variable, is that it's going to be 77 degrees, and
Wow.
we're getting frost tonight, and it's a big difference, and it's a change. But the reality is, it's the circumstances. We've certainly played in hotter weather, but at the
Yeah.
same time, it's been some time. So we're definitely going to have to adapt. We're going to have to be smart. We're going to have to be efficient and so forth. And that, again, we're probably going to have to rely on our depth.
No one will want to get back on the bus to come back and on the plane. They'll be like 77 degrees. Let's bring out the suntan lotion and we'll play too.
That's it. That's it.
All right. So then not only then and then the following week is a bark in the park. So everyone's encouraged to bring their dogs. I always think it's incredible to see all the dogs up there. Um, and for that game. Just one game this weekend, so that's going to be kind of nice as you're in that the heart of the schedule right now.
Yeah, it actually is. I mean, the way the scheduling went, I was really, really concerned about the last three, that last week, because next week is our bye week, which we actually have two consecutive single game weeks. And that's really important at this stage of the season, just in my experience, because it's really managing multiple game weeks, games in one week is tough, because you've got to scout, you've got to really compartmentalize the information that you give your players when you deliver it. So it's really nice to have a full week of proper recovery, proper training, and to be able to have, really, it's almost the antithesis of last week, where it's you're managing one over 7 days.
Right. All right, Coach. Best of luck. Safe travels heading down to Baltimore. Enjoy the hot weather. Pack the shorts, and you won't need any of the cold weather gear. And then we'll see you back up at UMaine on Sunday the 20th.
Perfect. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.